Okay, so what have I been saying for months and months that they need to just make a musical already?
Oh, they do. I'd pay good money to see it, or at least get the soundtrack CD.
Yeah.
Like, when are they releasing that?
But I guess in this episode we kind of got it.
Pretty much. Well, they've had musical episodes before, but this was the one that had, like, the whole plot running through the songs.
Yeah.
And what songs?
What songs? So this is Mr. Greg. Let's just get the plot over with immediately. Now this episode, Steven and Greg decide to go to Empire City to celebrate their newfound wealth, as it was given to them for being the inspiration for a burger joint song, which sounds way too accurate. Because of Pearl and Greg's uncomfortable relationship, Steven decides to take her with him to this location.
Road trip.
They do a straight-up, just full-on musical routine, song and dance routine with the hotel employees, but Pearl isn't able to fully get into it. After Greg and Steven are seemingly asleep, she sings about her inability to get over what happened with Rose, but she's overheard by them. Eventually, Steven somehow convinces the two of them to talk through song about each other's feelings, and they do everything, and it is okay.
I want to say that I know there's probably a formal title, but I'm just going to call it Pearl's Sad Lesbian Song. I'm calling it now my favourite song of Season 2, or 3, whatever this is now, Season 3.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful song.
It is.
Probably properly called It's Over or something.
Yeah. The funny thing is that early in the episode, I wrote "Poor Pearl, Forever Alone" because I thought it was just a little thing in the background, like, oh, they're still referencing this, and we'll just focus on Steven and Greg for the rest of the episode. Nope.
This is not a Steven and Greg's hijinks episode for more than like 3 minutes. It's a feelings episode. It's a heavy duty feelings episode. So I have a lot to say. And it's Pearl. I know you do.
Yes. Trying to think of how to put this. So I think the interesting thing about this is how it kept going. Like, it started off as this, like it was really musical because the songs are just, like, so varied in, like, many different ways. Hard to even describe. But I think it's interesting that, this is not the first time this happened in this series, but I do find it interesting that the first song they played, I wasn't actually that into for a bit. Which is funny in retrospect.
It was a very sweet song.
Yeah.
Greg's trying to figure out what to do with all this money, and like I said in the last episode, he's happy how he is. Steven's like, you could buy a house and a car. He's like, but I have a van.
Yeah.
Like, he's very content with his life as is, so he doesn't quite know what to do with all the money.
I like the song I like the song once it went to, like, electric guitar and stuff. I like how I love how the end of the song with Empire City has, like, Empire City and lights, and, like, it was like, and let's bring Pearl, and this Pearl also has her name with lights. That was funny.
Oh, poor. It starts out so awkward just because it is highlighting that awkwardness between Greg and Pearl over Rose, and Steven seems to be unintentionally making it worse by it's like, you should both come, it'll be fun, and don't forget Mom. And it's like, they literally never forget your mother.
I wrote, Steven's just fucking with these two, I swear.
I know, like, is he genuinely that innocent, or is he pretending to be that innocent just to mess with them?
Later in the episode...
Yeah, he does actively force them to confront the feelings they don't want to talk about.
Which I find interesting.
It probably was at least partially deliberate.
So we had that song. Then we get to the next song with all the hotel employees. And the whole thing felt like that... And this is where I have to say... I don't know very much about musicals, or, like, especially Broadway musicals, but this... Yes, that's why it's good you're here. But my immediate thought, especially with this song, was it had a very 90s Disney feel. Like, it felt like, especially Beauty and the Beast. Like, it was very Be Our Guest.
A bit Be Our Guest, yeah. Oh, it's the fact that they were all the guys working for them were identical looking was slightly creepy. But you know, my first thought was you can make the weirdest shit you want happen when you're rich. But it was very much it was definitely a very Broadway chorus number.
Yeah.
But, you know, just and this is the part where it crossed the line from, okay, but is it going to be all hijinks or is it going to be all feels? And at the end, when Greg asks Pearl to dance with him because they're all getting into it, and she says no, and they complain about her ruining the musical number.
Boo! You ruined the song.
When she says no, it's like, oh nope, gonna be feels. Versus Greg slightly being a dick, she's like, I can dance on a table and I'll just buy my way out of it. Like, yeah, but the staff now hate you for having to replace that table. I don't care if you've paid to replace it, they still hate you for the mess they have to clean up.
I love when the guy on the piano almost ruined the atmosphere and Steven just pays him to leave.
Yeah.
That was really funny. So yeah, seriously, when we got to like Pearl's solo song, like that legitimately blew me away. Like, whoa.
Visually it was beautiful, the color palette was beautiful, her dancing was beautiful, the song, oh my god.
Her singing was amazing. Like, most of the singing in this series is good, especially from Pearl, but she was like brilliant in that. Just brilliant.
And it's not exactly a love ballad, but it is the sort that it's very you got to have a lot of control to do that kind of slow song as well.
Yeah.
And it is just emotionally, it's such a heavy song.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why it was so effective is that it felt like it was Pearl, like, finally, like, basically facing her own problems head on for once.
She's acknowledging a lot of the fact that she still can't seem to get over Rose, and specifically can't get over the fact that, you know, it sounds like Rose had other guys in her life before, and Pearl was fine with it because she didn't really care. And then Greg came along and suddenly she matters more than Pearl ever has. And that's difficult. That's unrequited love. That at least, you know, she thought that at least she had some sort of home court advantage, but no.
She had thousands of years of advantage, apparently.
Yeah. And that wasn't enough, and she's still not quite dealt with that.
Yeah. I also love the part. I loved when she went into, like... I love how I'm trying to remember exactly, but there was a point where she went into, like, her relationship with Rose and, like, just all the shit they've gone through. Like, all the battles and stuff.
When she's deciding it's, like, war, fusion she brings up, you know, all these new experiences that she thought had bonded them closer than either of them could be with anyone else, then maybe closer than Pearl can be with anyone else, but evidently not the case for Rose.
Yeah.
And she brings up Steven, and Steven has, you know, previously expressed, you know, concern that he feels blamed for his mom not being around, which I'm sure none of the gems do deliberately, but Pearl is acknowledging for maybe one of the first times that she has to deal with not only losing the woman she loves, but having to look after her son with another guy, you know.
Yeah.
That is emotionally rough. Which, I'm just going to put this out there, does not excuse any of Severus Snape's actions, because I feel like I need to say this at every possible opportunity.
Okay.
But back to Steven Universe.
Back to Steven Universe.
You know,
like, I think I could talk about that forever, and, well, this has been true many times in the past. I think this point in particular, it's very interesting because, like, I'm not sure, like, even compared to normal, I'm not sure kids would even fully get this at this point. Like, it feels like this is very much like a straight up, like, adult theme, like, entirely adult. Like, even compared to normal, there's no even implication that this is somehow specifically for children. I guess that's to say.
I don't think it's going to lose kids exactly. They can get being in love.
Yeah.
They can, they can understand that concept. They can understand that Rose is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think it'll definitely resonate more with adults than kids in some ways.
Yeah. It really just feels, at times it kind of feels like a series about adults, and there's just the main character just happens to be some kid in order to make things more appealing to kids.
It's very well done, and I can't appreciate this episode enough, honestly.
Yeah, actually probably the most interesting thing, if we go on to the next song, which, was almost as good. But,
yeah, the one, with, oh god, I love that line Steven has when he's singing about what they have in common.
Yeah.
Is that he loves them and they both love him.
Yeah, that's very...
so cute!
Yeah, but also kind of interesting. Kind of makes me wonder if Steven is just kind of owning his own bizarre existence.
Maybe a little. Because, is he when he says, you love me... Is he talking about just him, or is he talking about Rose?
Yeah, more than that, is he intentionally talking about Rose?
And it is nice to see Greg and Pearl getting that bonding moment just about Rose.
Yeah, because I think the implication throughout the show even is that Pearl just doesn't like Greg, but from what she said, that doesn't seem to be the case. More that she just didn't want to confront him or anything about this.
Yeah, she's clearly not really been dealing even a little with Rose's death or the fact that Rose fell in love with someone else.
Yeah.
She just absolutely not dealt with that on any level.
No. And if I can add to that, Steven Universe does anything right, but among its many things it's praised for, to me, the number one thing, particularly with its main characters at least, that it always seems to be just phenomenal with, is getting constantly consistent characterization, and how, everything seems to inform the character in, ways that fit absolutely perfectly. Because when you think about how non-confrontational Pearl is, and how Pearls are supposed to act, it kind of fits. I'm not even sure that was intentional, but it fits really well.
I mean, we have seen a confrontational Pearl in Yellow Diamonds, but Yellow Diamond is also a military commander.
Yeah.
Whereas, the one we see with Blue Diamond seems to be almost entirely decorative.
Yeah.
And so if we assume that's the backdrop that our Pearl is coming from, of just being decorative, being happy, not being confrontational or aggressive in any way, then it's probably especially difficult for her to deal with. I would say not necessarily aggravation with Greg, but it's hard for her to deal with, and she hasn't even tried to deal with it yet.
Yeah.
But it'll be cute if, and obviously she's not going to feel 100% better overnight about it, but it'll be nice if her and Greg are going to be able to, support each other a little more from now on,
Yeah.
And I think that it also, in general, helps Steven to see other people dealing with their feelings about his mother's death, because then that helps him deal with the fact that he feels a little bit responsible for it.
Yeah. Also, something I thought of recently is that, would we consider this a trilogy of Tragic Pearl episodes? Between, you go from Rose's Scabbard to Sworn to the Sword to this. And if you think about each of them, it's kind of interesting, is each of them are about her relationship with one of the main human characters.
It's true, actually. Steven, then Connie, then Greg. And their relationship with them is how she faces how she felt about Rose, how she still feels about Rose.
Yeah. Basically, it's the healing process trilogy.
Yeah. Dealing with the death of your unrequited love.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it isn't. I am kind of interested in where they're going to go from here, because I think we have enough time where they're going to still bring this up here and there.
Yeah.
But, I wonder if they're going to go with my theory where no matter what she does, this is still going to just affect her no matter what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully not in terms of, obviously jealous behavior on Greg, but I think it's just always going to be with her how much Rose meant to her.
Uh-huh.
And she's transferred some of that to, protecting Steven on her behalf. But she also needs to deal with the fact that she is talking to Steven, not Rose.
And then it ends... it really takes advantage of being a musical, because it has a bunch of, what's the word? Where they reuse parts of the songs for a song.
Reprise.
That's the word. That's what I'm looking for. A reprise of like a couple of the songs, honestly, right at the end.
I especially like the happy reprise of "It's Over."
Yeah.
But Steven singing in a happy way, meaning not that Pearl's relationship with Rose is over this time, but the fact that some of the aggravation and tension is over.
And the episode is over.
Yeah. It is over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, I was unclear in the ending if they've spent all, the bit where they finally get the final bill and run for it, and it's like, did they spend all of the money?
Yeah, that's my question. I hope not. It shouldn't have cost that much.
Even like one day with a hotel slightly trashing it and Taylor making suits, that still shouldn't be $10 million.
No, that was so great, and it really did feel like kind of its own mini musical. Like it had the variety of songs. It had like the happy "We're Going to Do a Thing" song. It had the sort of like grand song with all these new characters they made. They had the tragic solo song that exists in order for someone to get an award.
Yeah. Yeah.
The duet.
Honestly, I hope Dee Dee Hall gets an award for that, because that was fantastic.
Yes. My final point about this is, so where does this rank on the series of episodes?
Just this week's? Or
no, in general, like, as a total.
Pretty high. Like, I'd still call, the Garnet backstory episode my favourite, because I adore Garnet, and that was another really good musical episode.
Yeah.
The Answer. The Answer is still my favourite, but I'd place this maybe second or third.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is in my top 5. The thing is, I do technically have little problems with it. Depending on my mood, maybe quite a few, but it's just that none of them matter.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't matter.
Definitely right up there with Sword to the Sword and, god damn it, the one where they're Steve Oney for the first time.
Alone Together,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely on that level.
That is a good point. For me, like I think I've said before, that they are never going to top Alone Together, or even close, and I'm still right. I'm not sure how you could. I don't think anyone intentionally could. But, and I think Sworn to the Sword, I do like that more, simply because I was so immediately overjoyed at sword fighting Connie. I think that's just that on top of everything, just put that over the top. But otherwise, it's so good.
I know this one had character arcs within the episode.
Yeah.
It had I'm pretty sure more time spent on the musical numbers as opposed to straight speaking, and just like I said, visually beautiful. Especially just Pearl dancing on the balcony was so beautiful.
Yeah,
she looks good in that suit.
yes, she does.
I feel like I need to go watch it 8 or 9 more times. It's just that there are a very small number of episodes I watched multiple times in a row just because they were good. Like this one, I think the finale of season 1, Jailbreak I did, simply just because I love Stronger Than You so much. Sword to the Sword I did first time I saw it.
Yeah.
And The Answer.
Yeah. I think I did see Alone Together like at least 8 times at this point.
Honest to God, I will pay real money for the Steven Universe soundtrack. Like, have they released that? I'm actually checking the Amazon right at this minute because I need to know if they have.
I don't think they do.
They need to. They have so much good music.
Yes.
Oh, well, they have the single songs available for download, like digital music download.
Cool.
But there's no soundtrack, and there's a Peridot soundboard.
Of course there is.
I didn't know soundboards were still a thing on the internet.
Me either.
I don't even know. So yeah, beautiful episode. So pretty.
Yeah.
So good. So many feels.
A million feels.
But God, I'd love to see this episode on stage.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. That'd be great.